though. You got your wall. So you've got your wall, and it's cost billions of dollars. And now, what's that going to do to the economy? So let's switch a little bit. I mean, it's hard to transition up here on this stage because y'all could go at it for a while. Remember that thing I said about it being nice and sweet and everybody getting along? That was bullshit. Okay.
It is Politicon.
They did get along beautifully backstage, truly. Let's talk about the economy. Let me ask you first. The unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in quite a while. The general consensus, well, I can't say the general consensus, but polling numbers amongst Americans indicate that more believe that they're doing better now than they have in recent decades. Does this not help President Trump's argument that he has done a good job with the economy? I mean, I would imagine that there will be many who would say, well, he's reaping the benefits of President Obama's economy, but I doubt you'd say that. And I think regardless of what you believe, who's to credit for it, President Trump will probably get the credit for that. So is President Trump not responsible, or at least the Republicans in Congress and the House not responsible for an improvement in the stock market, an improvement in the unemployment rate?
So I'm going to rewind a little bit and talk about Obama and how he improved the economy, right?
Oh, God, here we go.
There might be some people on the left who don't like what I say here, but it's the truth. Obama did improve the economy for those at the top. And that improvement has continued for those at the top. And let me be specific. I think that the Trump administration took a problem and unfortunately made it worse. So the tax cuts for the wealthy, that's $2 trillion in tax cuts for the very top over the next 10 years. And that is going to defund things that this country needs so desperately, including improvements to our infrastructure, including, social safety net programs that us Americans, we've paid into. You know, people like to say that it's nothing more than a handout. I don't know. I look at my taxes. I see how much of it goes toward those programs that I should be able to take advantage of at some point in the future. But nonetheless, look, if you look at statistics that actually matter, so yes, the unemployment rate is low. What is the quality of those jobs? What do they pay? Do they pay a living wage? Are they full-time jobs? Oftentimes, they're either temporary construction jobs or they don't pay good living wages. And so if you look at consumer debt today is higher than it was at the height of the last economic collapse. We're all going into more and more debt just to be able to provide for our families and to go to school. So there are other measures of the economy that I think unfortunately are being ignored. They were ignored in the Obama administration. They're certainly being ignored now. And we need to find ways to improve the economy for the working class, for the middle class, for individuals who actually put their sweat and their blood into making these companies successful.
So I'll agree with you in part on Obama's economy not being as great as the Democrats like to romanticize about it. But at the end of the day, the American people are doing well under this president. The unemployment rate is down. Workforce participation is up. Median household incomes is also up. It's gone up about $5,000.
Yes.
And that is crumbs to Nancy Pelosi, but it's not to average Americans. Under the Bush years, it was up $400. Under the Obama years, it was up $1,000. So being that it's up $5,000 under President Trump, it is an improvement for families, and that's raising wages. So when the Democrats and you say, no, people are actually struggling, they're actually are not. The incomes actually are going up. As much as people want to see, nobody's ever seeing their income go as much as they would like to have it see. But under this president, it is going up. So that, and I know you want to interrupt me, but I'm going to get to finish because you got to go on like a 3-minute diatribe there. So yes, the unemployment rate is down, workforce participation is up. We also have a president that is addressing a trade issue right now that both sides are wary about, but he's actually stepping up to address it, which many have put off because it's not politically usually favorable to address a trade war, or to engage in a trade war, to do what's necessary to get nations like China to play fair, or at least meet us in the middle, have somewhat of a level playing field. This president is doing this. He's addressing these head on. And for the Democrats, when I see him on the stage to say everyone's doing horribly under this economy, it's just not true. As Clay mentioned, the American people are doing well under this economy, which is pretty great for a president. They said that they would collapse us into another recession. That has not been the case. I know much to the Democrats' dismay, who are cheering for a recession because they'd love to beat Donald Trump, but the economy is doing well under this president.
What exactly is it that he's...
Can I please answer that or respond to that? I apologize. So, one of the things that I'm concerned about, and this is genuine concern, one measure that individuals look at in order to gauge our economic success is the stock market. And one of the things that people don't realize is that these stock prices are a house of cards, because after Trump gave these massive tax cuts to the wealthy, to these corporations, I mean, the corporate tax rate used to be 35%. He lowered it to 21%, but when you consider the effective corporate tax rate, it's much lower. That's why companies like Amazon, the most profitable corporation in America, got away with paying 0 in taxes last year. So what do they do with the money that they save from those tax cuts? Do they create jobs? Well, you would think, yeah, right? That's what we keep hearing Republicans say. But in reality, they bought shares of their own stocks, corporate stock buybacks. And so...
I just have to say something here. That some of the idiots in the crowd were clapping because what did they do with that extra money that they saved because of the tax cuts? They bought back their own stock in their own company. Egos. Oh my God. Oh, that's so horrible. That's so evil. They bought stock in their own company. Let me give you a little here. Let me mansplain something to you, Anna, because you're simmering again. That's what you do. You buy back. It shows investors out there that you have what? Confidence in your company. And you're buying back a piece of your company. This is economics 101. Doesn't mean that there's always going to be artificial bubbles that are created in different sectors. It's happened throughout the history of the stock market. But it's the other thing that has made tremendous wealth for people. And by you saying that it's just the hoity-polloi people at the top, all these evil corporate people, they have a fiduciary responsibility to the stockholders, the majority of whom are also retail investors. They're investing in these companies themselves. And so when they see a company like Amazon or Apple or Tesla or whatever the companies out there, Exxon, and they're buying their stock back, that gives them confidence to say, hey, the company's putting their money where their mouth is. I want a piece of that as well. That's just economics 101. Anna's clearly has lost this. I mean, she just got clobbered on almost every question, every answer that she gave was just unbelievably, ridiculously made with no backup at all.
Those stock prices are not based on consumers stimulating the economy. They're based on corporate CEOs and executives buying shares of their own stock and artificially inflating the value. It's based on a house of cards, and we should be worried about that bubble right now.
Are you able to rebut the argument that the tax cuts that were passed by President Trump and the Republican Senate and House were effective in improving the lives of the middle class?
It was a tax cut for 80% of Americans, so yes. And I know that that's something the Democrats don't like to talk about.
But tax cuts help us. Tax cuts put people back.
Let's be
We've
respectful,
done really
guys.
well without booing so far, so let's not start that crap.
People boo a tax cut. It's amazing.
But
You're welcome to pay more.
But well, let me ask you about that.
You're welcome to.
Well, let me ask you about that.
No one's making you send that check. You can send it yourself. You can donate your entire income to the
Listen,
government.
if you start heckling them, I'm going to let them heckle you back, so don't heckle them. The tax cuts, I guess, I'm showing my stripes here, but I hear a lot of people talk about make America great again, and there's an argument that we don't build as much as we did. Our roads are not as good as they used to be, etc. But if you look back at periods in our country's history when we were investing in infrastructure and we were investing in what some might call social handouts, but others might call social safety nets, which we all appreciate, like Social Security, Medicare. We had tax rates that were far, far higher. Is there a danger that
Just going to stop that right here. We'll continue on. So in this episode, as I was basically saying here, folks, wow. Tommy Lahren completely demolished Ana Kasparian. And Ana basically gave she basically gave, as in her answers, the ammunition that was needed to basically, crush her. And I made my comments based on the comments that were the narrative that, the spin that Anna was, if that's what she's thinking about. I mean, in every aspect, in the Second Amendment, it's the guns that's the problem, that's causing the violence down there. That's the thing. Oh, it's the tax cuts. It just went to the upper few. The top 1%. It didn't do anything, which is completely not true. Completely not true. As Tommy countered and said, it went to 80% of the people that are paying the taxes. They got a tax cut. Wages up $5,000. Median household wages up $5,000 from Obama's $1,000. And then the thing about the stock market, individual investors, retail investors, everyday average ordinary Americans, where are they going to put their money in? They're putting it into the stock market. And then she goes on to say, what? That because they're buying back their stock, that's evil, that's bad. That's showing that you're not doing you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. As I said before, fiduciary responsibility for these companies to buy back their stocks. And yes, they buy it low, and they know that they're going to continue to grow, continue to manufacture, continue to increase jobs, continue to increase wages. It's going to increase their stock prices, thereby increase the value of their company, thereby people that invest are going to get a return on that investment. That's what happens. I mean, Anna, you just absolutely got demolished here. Demolished in part 3. That's all I can say. A huge win for Tomi Lahren. Huge. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host here. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel, like, share, and follow us. Let your friends know about us. Put your comments below. Let us know what you think. And I'll end it with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.